Welcome to the end of April edition of Whatever with Don and Justin. Minus Justin, of course.
Yeah, whatever.
Oh, am I supposed to say something here?
Yes, you are.
Oh, okay. Hi.
Yeah, whatever. Cause this is my United States or whatever.
Whose?
And this is my United States or whatever.
No planner? I killed the intro.
You did. How dare you?
Oh, time to touch my nipples in ecstasy. What up, in this episode?
So this is,
Whatever.
I love this. This is a catchy ass song. This is done by Kimbra. You remember that Gautier song a couple years ago?
No.
Game of the Year song? Game of the Year edition song? Anyway, Gautier was an artist and he did that Somebody That I Used to Know song. Anyway, this is the girl from that song, and a lot of people don't have any idea that she did anything else. She's a New Zealander. A Kiwi. Kiwi, as they call it.
About the song you're talking about. So.
Yeah, so this, but anyway, it only got 300 million hits on YouTube, so I could see why you wouldn't know what it is, but she does her own stuff, and I like it. I think it's pretty good. And this is one of her, more poppy songs, but she has, some really, really weird sounds, too. But anyway, so, welcome to Whatever with Donna Justin for April 27th, 2014. Justin is still absent because he is tending to his new daughter. What is his daughter's name? Violet?
Yeah, Violet.
Violet. And welcome to the world, Violet. And congratulations again to Justin and Jessica, his bride-to-be. And we wish them well. And I know he will be a great father. He's a great guy. So, anyway, tonight, Adam is sitting in once again for... Uh-oh. I dropped my mic. For Justin. Adam is sitting in once again for Justin. Say hello, Adam. And
Hi, due to budget constraints, this is what we got.
due to budget constraints, right? So, while I fix my mic here, because
Obama!
it likes to fall off in my headset. But anyway, tonight we're going to talk about God knows what. We didn't really set out a itinerary or anything like we usually do, but I had a couple things I wanted to talk about. First of all, people that don't know my work or what I do or anything that I'm about, because this podcast is about me. Hello. Yeah. So anyway, I have a website that I didn't just put it up. It's been up for a while, but I just touched it up, I guess you'd say, and I got it operational again. It's like the Death Star, and so now I've added a podcast player to the website, and now our podcast officially has a home. You can go to the website anytime, day or night, that you want and listen to this episode or the previous episode, and just tell all your friends and go there and enjoy it and good stuff, because now we're kind of like an official thing. We actually have a home, which is nice.
We have an official Nintendo seal of approval.
There you go. And it's not a seal of quality, though, unfortunately. And then,
gotcha.
yeah, so go to my website. And another thing is that people that don't know, I review movies and games, but I review movies because I love movies. I wanted to make movies at one time, and when I realized that would be a little out of my reach because of where I live, because you typically have to live in California, that kind of thing. Anyway, the next best thing was I know how movies work. At least I like to think I do. So I started reviewing them. And now a couple years after I stopped, have started reviewing with bloodydisgusting.com again, which is a horror movie website. And that means weekly I'll at least do one horror movie review for that site. And if there isn't one being released theatrically that week, then I will also review another movie that is being released. So every weekend I'll have at least one movie review done. And that's just the movie side of things. I want to get back into doing gaming stuff too. But so, my point is, bookmark my site, visit it regularly, please, because there's podcasts there, there's reviews, there's gaming stuff. It's also my blog, so I'll put up some stuff about mods or anything that interests me on PC and stuff like that. So check it out, people. Adam, what have you been up to? Anything new to you?
Not too much. I'm going to shamelessly plug myself like a dirty whore that I
Yeah,
am.
absolutely, please.
So, lately I've been trying to actually have a consistent schedule.
Hmm.
Apparently, this is a thing on the YouTubes. I have a YouTube channel, Transparency Pro.
Right.
Cover a lot of mainly gaming stuff. May do some other stuff in the future, but mainly cover a lot of either niche titles, fighting games, old school games, new school games, just whatever I like. Um, Going to have a PC indie review called Krulure. I believe I'm saying it right. It's a Japanese PC indie game. I got a review code for. I'm going to
Cool.
actually try to get that up on Monday. It's pretty much just a little hack and slash type game, whatever. And also, I'm going to have some other content with fighting games and things like that because it's just one genre I really love. But yeah, I do a review show called The Game Machine as well, where I just review whatever games I want,
The
new, old.
game machine, by the way.
The
Yeah,
Game Machine. Did I say Game Machine
it
again?
sounds like it. Yeah. So
Okay, so yeah, if you want the Game Machine, now that's something
I
on
don't think they
XTube.
allow that on
Just go
YouTube.
to xtube.com/. No.
I don't.
But
I don't know that
anyway,
it
so
has
yeah,
to
I
be
do that, and
pornographic,
I'm on-
but
yeah.
so yeah, check out
It's pretty graphic.
Transparency Pro, right?
Yes.
All right, so
Yep.
check his
I'll-
channel out because he does some stuff, and I do some stuff now. After a 2-year hiatus because I took time off to go to school, and now I'm back. So
He is
anyway,
back.
so
Back again.
leading into our first topic tonight, what I did last Thursday night was I actually reviewed my first movie in 2 years for bloodydisgusting.com, and that movie was The Quiet Ones.
Hey,
And
Don,
yes.
can you tell me about this movie? And is it
Oh,
any good?
I bet you'd love to know. So, if you'd watched my review, you'd know I gave it 2.5 out of 5, and that's an average score to me. It's not terrible. A lot of people would consider anything less than a 3, I guess, like really bad. But no, 2.5 to me is like, if you're bored, why not? If
Yeah.
I mentioned at the end of my review, if you're looking for like a date movie or something like that, it's pretty good because it's tame. It's not really like hardcore horror. It's PG-13. And PG-13 horror movies are something that I just have a stigma with anyway. And I don't know, like this movie, it's frustrating because there's another writer for Bloody Disgusting named Evan Dixon, and Evan hated the movie. I think he gave it a 1 out of 5. He couldn't stand it.
Wow.
And in his review, which is like 3 paragraphs long, and all he does is just trash it the whole time, but he states like it literally just plays out like it was run by executives making decisions that have no idea how movies work. And that I don't disagree with him there. Like it does, it's really, really cliched. The title's a cliche. I even mentioned in my review. It's The Quiet Ones you have to watch, right? All right, so
So it's a horror movie made by somebody's marketing department.
pretty much is what it seems like. And the thing is that there's actually some talent in this, and it's weird because like the movie by all intents and purposes like should have been a complete disaster, like apparently Evan thought it was. But in my opinion, like it had some merit to it. Like it had decent acting to good, like really good acting. It was kind of strange because some of the cast, I think it was like 5 cast members in the whole movie practically. But like a couple of them are, they just do the job well enough. And then there's like this, what the movie's about is there's a girl who people think she's possessed, and there's a guy, a professor at Oxford University, thinks that she's just mentally ill and has a hyperactive brain and like does stuff, with brain waves and whatever. And he's trying to prove it, and he's trying to cure her because he thinks she's just sick. And is she possessed or isn't she? I don't know. That's the plot. I'm not going to spoil it. But what she does is the girl that plays her, the mentally ill girl, her name's Olivia Cook, and she's actually a British girl. And she's in a show on AM, is it AN, I think it's A&E. I get AMC and A&E mixed up. But anyway, A&E called Bates Motel, and it's actually supposed to be the prequel to Psycho. It's about Norman Bates as a kid. And she's actually a character in Bates Motel, and that's where I know her from. And she plays an American girl in that show, which is kind of strange. So she's actually British, and she plays her British self in this movie. But I know her from that show, and I wasn't really expecting much because her character in that show is just kind of a throwaway, supporting role. But in this, she's actually really good, and she didn't need to be. Like, it was just a role where you could just kind of go, oh well, I'm just playing a possessed girl. It's always gotta come across like I'm a fucking crazy nut, like. But she actually like, she's really good in it. And there's the guy that plays the professor. He's a really good actor too. His name escapes me right now, but I've seen him in a lot of other things, and he's actually really good in his role too. And Evan, the writer for Bloody Disgusting, actually mentioned in his review like the amount of like disdain that the actor apparently seems to have for this role because it's such like a formulaic role. But like the actor is just like so good that he just like seems like he made a bet with himself like to see how many different ways he can say I think she's just mentally ill. Because he basically like stuff happens and then they go, well, how did that happen if she's not possessed? And then he has to go, there has to be an explanation. And he does that like throughout the entire movie, and it's fucking annoying.
Because there's always that one guy. It's like,
yeah,
no.
yeah. And he's that one guy, but he's like a really good actor. And the material of the script is such garbage. The script in this movie is horrible, and I said that in my review. Like the script is the real culprit because like it's just such a by the numbers, absolute just cliche fest going on. And it's so predictable. Everything's super predictable. But like some of the acting's good, and some of the directing is actually pretty good. So that's why I gave it 2.5 because like the script is so bad. It should have been just a disaster, but I didn't think it was. So anyway, but yeah, that was this week's movie review that I did, and then I don't even know what's coming up. But before that, I saw another movie, but this one's like way indie and nobody's gonna see it. And the only reason anyone's gonna see it is when it hits Blu-ray because Scarlett Johansson's naked in it. It's the only reason. Nobody cares
Looking
about
up
the movie
Amazon
itself.
right now, ready to type in the name of the video. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, so it's called Under the Skin, and Under the Skin is just a freaking weird movie. If you're in the mood for like just some weird, like inexplicable shit that just gets thrown on celluloid because just to be weird, go see that one because it's freaking. It tries to be like Stanley Kubrick kind of like real kind of ambient, vague kind of, you know what I mean? And it ends up just being kind of like, what? Like, and like it's about, she plays an alien and she like seduces young men into coming home with her and then she like feeds on them. But it's not like Species. It's really not. Like you think like, like in Species, what does she do to them in Species? She just like impregnates them or something and then that's right. She has sex with them and then she has kids like within like a day or something. I don't remember. But anyway,
isn't that Alien as well, or am I getting those confused?
no, Alien is just like an alien that just like.
It's like I seen Prometheus.
Kind of,
like,
sort of, yeah, kind of.
like,
I mean, they all derive from Alien, I guess, yeah, because Alien like uses
gotcha.
humans to incubate babies, but that's what I'm saying is like you would expect it's kind of like a sexual thriller, erotic thriller, kind of like Species or whatever, but it's really not. Like it's when she gets the guys back to her place, it's just so weird. Like the entire screen around them is black. Like there's no furniture, there's no like indication they're in a house or a room or anything. It's just black, like a dream sequence, and then like she'll start like stripping down and then like walking across the floor and then they'll walk behind her and then all of a sudden the floor turns into like this liquid and they just start like descending into the liquid and she's still walking on top of it, like she doesn't go into it. It's the most abstract weird thing I've seen in a while, but it kept my attention. That's what I said in my review of it was I didn't know what to make of it. It was just kind of strange to be strange just for the sake of being weird, but at the same time, I was interested the whole time. So, I mean, there's something being done right there, right? If I'm not like bored out of my mind and I'm not going, oh, this is so stupid, like. So, I actually watched the whole thing.
At the same time, you're also kind of like, I don't know exactly what's going on. What kind of porn is this?
Get to the boobs. Yeah. So, like, no, I mean, that's the thing too. Like, if you're going to see it just because she's naked in it, like. She had cell phone pictures leak of herself like 3 years ago that are more,
like, dude,
much better.
Images, hello.
Yeah, much better looking, much better view of her than anything in this movie because this movie is like she has a couple of nude scenes, but like one of them is like so far away from her you have to like squint to make out any details, and then the other one is dark. Like you get to see her butt. Oh wow. And you get to see, and it's just like really dark, and it's not gratuitous at all. So it's She's not like banging somebody or something, you know. It's nothing like
So she's not like
X-rated.
banging them, and all of a sudden she's like the praying mantis that bites the head off and then keeps
No,
banging them.
yeah, that's what the Species does. And like, no, like Species was famous because it had like the nipple, like the creature's nipple, like strangles a guy in a hot tub. It was
Yeah.
fucking funny.
It's usually how it happens.
Yeah, but like none of that happens in this one, and like just saying she's an alien is just like it gives away the whole movie practically because they don't actually reveal that until literally the very end of it. But every bit of media that I saw before this movie released said that she played an alien. So I was just like, okay, well, I'm not
Kind of
gonna.
like the first Assassin's Creed, like the big. Well, that was kind of a little different though.
Well, it was silly because it was. I was just like, everything was ruined already before I saw the movie. So if and I have a philosophy like if I'm doing a review, I'm just using stuff from the trailers, right? And
Yeah.
they release clips online, so I'll release or I'll use those clips. But I won't spoil anything that the trailers don't give away, and I won't use any footage from the movie anywhere else other than in the trailers.
right.
So, yeah, like you'd be surprised. I mean, you probably wouldn't be surprised, but there's so many movies are just totally given away in the trailers now. I feel like I should dial it back and just like not give away everything that the trailer gives away because I feel like I'm just ruining the movie for people, even though it's already stuff they can already see before going and watch it. Yeah, it drives me nuts. I really hate how much they give away now. But like there's scenes literally from the final scene of the movie in the trailer of Under the Skin, and I'm like, okay, like I guess if you're just gonna totally ruin it for people. But yeah, anyway, those are two movies that I saw in the past couple weeks, and one of them I didn't like too much, and the other one, Under the Skin, intrigued me. I thought it was different enough to give it a look, but it's not. Yeah, it's not like great. I've seen reviews like going apeshit for it, like, "Oh my god, this movie's second coming of Kubrick and all this stuff," and I'm like, "Where are you seeing that?" Like, I don't get people's.
I guess it depends. Were you on drugs when you watched this movie?
No, I wasn't. Yeah.
Then the
I had
then
the
you have to knock
40-minute
it down
drive
2
home.
Stars.
Yeah, pretty much. I don't know. What else is new? What else is going on in the gaming world? I'm not even sure.
Yeah, I guess I could talk about something I watched recently on Netflix. If you
Yeah,
like.
go for it.
It's kind of anime-ish, but it was a series that just came
Uh-oh.
out onto Netflix. It's apparently a prequel to some other series called Fate Stay Night, but this is called Fate Zero. So basically, I had no real knowledge about this series coming in, so the beginning of it was a little confusing, but I kind of knew what was going on. So basically, what's going on is there's the Holy Grail. Apparently, this comes out every several years, and there's a big tournament to people killing each other to see who's going to get it and grant a wish. At least that's what people believe. And in order for them to get this, they have to summon some kind of persons, I guess, from like times past to fight with them. So it's pretty much a dead person, like Alexander the Great's there, Gilgamesh, and King Arthur, which is actually a chick. some
Okay.
reason. Yeah,
Sure.
apparently history book they gave a reason, like apparently history books, it's like, women who would ever believe a story about a woman being king and stuff like that. But anyway, so yeah, the stories about the tournament there and things like that, and it was really interesting to see because the partner, because King Arthur was considered the best of the best, wielding Excalibur, things of that nature. So of course they considered, I guess, top tier. And the person that summoned her was a guy he's pretty much was an assassin. He hunts these mages down. These mages are pretty much one of the groups responsible for this whole Holy Grail War thing. And, the whole thing.
crazy.
Yeah, there's a lot of setup for this. But yeah, I mean, but basically.
Game of Thrones 2.0. I started watching
Yeah.
that last week, by the way. That movie or that show is nuts.
A lot of penises. Actually, I've only seen the first season because I don't have HBO.
Ah,
But yeah, anyway, so yeah, basically the person that summons her, this guy, he was just a known assassin. He doesn't. I mean, he does know some kind of magic, but mainly he uses guns, takes out targets, things of that nature. And
sounds like what was that? Smoking Aces. You remember that movie? Did you ever see that?
I think I've seen it.
Yeah, whatever.
Not for sure.
It's not important. It was just reminded me of that. The assassins and stuff.
Yeah, well, not everybody's an assassin. Like,
No, that's
one
a
guy
bummer.
was just
Everyone should be an assassin, damn it.
Yeah, one guy's like some kind of head mage at an academy, part of some noble family. There's like some guy who
Is his name Willow?
Probably. I can't remember the names.
He's named after a tree. That was the
Yeah.
lamest shit ever.
That's exactly.
Hey,
that's
let's
exactly
name him after a tree.
some dumb kid who got a hold of a bunch of books and decided he was just going to summon someone.
Yeah, it's the sequel, Sequoia. What?
Yeah. And then, yeah, so, I mean, there's just a lot of stuff. And then there's this crazy mage who apparently thinks King Arthur is Joan of Arc and, like, has this obsession with her.
Why
It's
not?
this dude's really creepy. And the fact the person that summons him is a serial killer.
So King Arthur's a woman.
What's that?
King Arthur's a woman?
Yep. In this series, it is a woman.
Why is it not Queen?
Because I don't know. It's
Oh my
Japan.
God.
Anyway.
Right,
Just,
yeah,
I'm just glad there was no tentacle.
That's
David, so.
that's literally like the best thing you could have said right there. There are so many examples I've seen in my lifetime with like them using like words and English words and like J-pop songs and stuff that just make no sense at all.
Right,
And
yeah.
you
I
just
think
go,
it's, just like it's really a culture thing.
yeah, it's, they're like, door, and you're like, what? Fire hydrant. You're like, that makes no sense. Why did you say that? And the answer is because they're Japanese. That's it. They're from Japan.
I guess basically though, what it boils down to, I guess, without spoiling anything, basically
Weird.
the story, I really did enjoy it, though the first part was confusing because I didn't watch the first series, but then it kind of started to kind of fall into place.
Wait, you started watching this like mid-series?
No. So basically, this series, Fate Zero, is a prequel to a series called Fate Stay Night. So, in other words, this is like events takes place before this series.
Yeah,
so
I know what a prequel
I figured,
is. So you could,
they'll go in and explain it. No,
Right.
they just kind of just like throw you into it.
so it's a prequel that you have to have watched the sequel to before actually watching
Yeah, pretty much.
to know what's going on. That's a horrible prequel.
Basically, yeah.
That's the worst prequel I've ever heard.
But then eventually you kind of, it does kind of eventually be like, okay, I get it. But,
Okay. Well, that's good. At least they tie it together somehow. It's just
yeah,
like,
well, it's like the typical like, oh, okay, I see what's going on. There's the reason
it's
for
like
it.
a Metal
And
Gear
then-
game or something. It has nothing to do with each other.
Yeah, the
Like-
first part doesn't really explain anything, and like I don't know if they go into too much detail about every single little thing, but they do
Right.
kind of at least nail some of the basic stuff, I guess. But overall, though, just to kind of sum it up, it's really good. It was really surprisingly dark at moments,
And this
especially
is
since
on-
one of them is a serial killer.
Netflix, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
Fate Zero.
Fate Zero.
Fate's- yeah. It's like Fate /Zero, but
Gotcha.
how Japan gets with the names. But yeah,
Those
it's
slashes in the way.
Yeah, and there's like some stuff that's like really interesting, like some stuff I didn't see coming. And some stuff like the ending is really like dark as well. Like it does get dark
there
in
it is.
some spots. And yeah, I mean, there's also some really good action sequences too. I really like some of the action
It's about
sequences.
to start playing. Let me back out of that. Don't want to play it because I don't have the volume controller
He's
up there.
watching anime. Shun.
Fate Zero. There's a lot of anime on Netflix.
Oh yeah, there's a whole bunch.
That's cool.
There's one that's getting really popular, Attack on Titan. I've seen some of it in Japanese. I think you being kind of a horror movie guy, I think you would enjoy it.
I watched anime before it was cool too, like back in the 90s.
Yeah, man.
Oh man, I remember like
Right.
Vampire Hunter D and all that stuff I was into.
Oh, that was so good.
But like, I haven't watched anime in a long time.
I think you should
since,
watch
like, high
Attack on
school.
Titan. I think that'd be kind of a good way to kind of
Some of
break
it's
in, I think,
okay.
and dub episodes around.
I hate
Netflix.
people that just generalize and they're just like, anime's for nerds. Like, shut up. It's a form of entertainment. It's a storytelling medium. So like, any storytelling medium can be hijacked by nerds. You know what I mean? Like,
Exactly.
books are for nerds. Like, shut up. Like, you read books, dickhole. It's not like, stop
usually
pretending
those
you're
people
too
that
good to
make fun of
like
people
something.
For reading books are just mad because they couldn't read a book, so they're stuck working at McDonald's flipping a burger.
Oh yeah, no,
I'll have
I'll have people be like, you're always on your phone, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm fucking reading. What do you use, books? What's wrong with you? Like, like I can have an e-reader on my phone with like thousands of books at one time without having to actually carry thousands of books.
The best ones are like people playing mobile games, and then you're like, you talk about playing a console game, like, what are you, 5? It's like,
Yeah,
what the
it's like-
fuck you doing?
Oh no, yeah, like I have like what all emulators? I have a Nexus 5, so I have like, it's rooted and I have all these emulators on it. I have a PlayStation emulator, a Genesis, Super NES, regular NES, all that shit. I have Game Boy Advance, like all kinds of shit on my phone. And I have the ability to like sync up a PlayStation controller to it, Bluetooth, And I bring it to work with me and I play. Like I've been playing Symphony of the Night and like people are like, "What are you playing? Like, what is that?" And I'm like, "It's PlayStation." And they're like, you're able to hook your controller to your phone?" And I'm like, "Yeah, what is this, mind blowing to you? Like, what's wrong with you? We're in 2014. You've been able to do since it's like 2007." But I mean, like, I don't know. People just seem to be like just totally out of touch with shit like that. I don't get it. It's like, yeah, it's like the people that like.
I don't try to think about it because it just hurts my head.
People that carry around like, Game Boy Advance and DS and all that shit. I'm like, have fun with that. Like, I have a DS emulator on my phone. I can play DS games, touchscreen games on my phone's touchscreen.
I really like my 3DS and Vita as much as people give shit for the Vita.
No, 3DS is fine. I like Vita, and here's the thing I love about Vita is like PlayStation Plus and cross-play. Cross-platform play.
Also, you got like a ton of indie titles.
Ever.
You also got like where I'm in a lot of Japanese games. There's like a lot of good like Japanese games on there too. So it's
I mean, good Japanese games is kind of an oxymoron at this point. I'm just kidding. It's fine, but you know what I mean. Like, there's a lot of
and that's actually a topic I kind of want to touch on a little bit. But
here we go.
I guess
I set him off.
You fed the demon inside. No, but basically,
Ustream crashed. By the way, we haven't been broadcasting for the past 10 minutes. We're still recording. Don't worry, but
okay, that's fine. No
it just
one
crashed. Yeah, I don't think anybody's coming in here.
But basically, like, there's good games out there, but there's a lot of weird shit that people don't understand, like Conception 2. Have you heard of this game that just came out?
I seen something about it, and I saw that Justin was playing it, and I'm like, well, that's fitting, Mr.
Yeah,
Daddy.
that's actually what I told him. I was like, that's ironic. So basically, you're this guy. I don't know. It's like I don't know the actual story, but just it's sci-fi.
There's no story. It's Japanese. There's no story. Dude,
but basically,
like I was mentioning Metal Gear Solid earlier, every game is not related to the previous one, regardless of what the fucking characters' names are.
I don't even think the first one came out here, but basically, you're this guy. You got a Mac on these chicks. You got a Mac on these chicks, and you don't actually have sex with them, but you end up having star babies with them, and you use them to battle. So you beat enemies up with your children.
Jesus. And the best part of this is that the first game didn't even get released here.
Yep.
So you're playing Conception 2, and you're like, why not the first one?
God there's some like really weird, quirky stuff that comes out. But there's like some really good stuff.
They do that with like Yakuza, right? We only got like certain ones, didn't we?
Yeah.
Like a couple got translated here, and then like a couple haven't.
The majority of them that came out here. Not all of them got dubbed. I think.
What are those games like? Are they like GTA or something? I've never played one.
They're kind of supposed to be kind of like GTA, but it's not an open world game.
Is it not? Okay,
to me, it's kind of like.
I've seen it compared with
Shenmue. If Shenmue would be GTA, I guess I don't know, but
is it have a ton of like really fine details like Shenmue and all that stuff, or is it just kind of like more? I don't know.
I haven't played them in a while to really say. Okay. They did make a zombie version of the game where you're fighting zombies.
What the fuck is up with Japan?
So the Yakuza fight zombies.
That sounds pretty cool. Yeah, I'm waiting for Sleeping Dogs 2 personally, but we'll see how that goes.
Sleeping Dogs was fun. I need to finish.
I love Sleeping Dogs, dude. I played the hell out of that game. God,
that game is so damn good.
50 hours on Steam or something like that. It looks so awesome on PC too. But yeah, I mean, I don't know why I brought that up. Oh, right, because we're talking about GTA and it's Asian, that kind of thing. Yeah, but it wasn't made by an Asian company. It was made by
Rockstar makes
United Front Games,
the RPG.
Well, Grand Theft Auto
in this game,
5 better come to PC soon. I'm starting to get pissed.
Yeah, you could just probably emulate it, I'm sure, with your...
No, GTA 5. Well, I can emulate anything, practically. I've been emulating fucking...
That's all you need, and then you can just, like, go in there and...
What did I play recently? I played the F-Zero GX recently on my PC. That game looks incredible in HD. Holy God. Man, they need to remake that shit. They need an F-Zero game for the Wii U bad. Like, now. It's stupid that series has not had an entry since the GameCube. Unless you count the Game Boy Advance, I guess. But it's still like, fuck, God, what are they thinking?
Yeah, I know what you mean as far as that.
Dude, it's crazy. Like, there hasn't been a legit Starfox game in... How many years? Oh my God, that franchise is dead.
The GameCube, I thought it was okay. It's kind
of
fun,
no, that's not.
Except for the
the last real Star Fox game was like, I don't know. I didn't play the DS one. This
The
Commander,
GameCube would
whatever
be,
it
I
was.
guess, technically an official like
But
Star
like
Fox Assault.
Star Fox to me is like the N64 game. That's Star Fox to me. That
Oh,
shit,
yeah.
that just like on rails shooter that they need to pass over to Treasure and make them fucking make a game already. Please, my God. I'm sorry. I'm full of these amazing ideas and Nintendo just doesn't listen to me. Whatever. Fuck them. I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, I know exactly how you
Fuck
feel.
them.
Right
They
now, they've already copyright striked this podcast.
They did. Yeah, they probably will, right? And they'll be like, "You can't use this podcast and broadcast at a gaming tournament or something." And fuck you, dicks. But I've been playing Zombie U recently.
Oh,
Actually, have you played that?
I have not. I've actually been officially burned out on the majority of zombie games.
Oh, okay,
Zombie
that's
stuff
right. You mentioned that last time. That's fine. No, Zombie U's it's actually really fun. It's actually really good. It surprised me because when I first played it, I was like, I'm still really bad at it, but I just got pissed off at it because it's so like kind of obtuse and it doesn't really like ease you into it at all. It just kind of like penetrates you and just kind of thrusts like really hard. Sorry.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it just keeps on. It just keeps on. Shut up! It just keeps going and going, and it's like,
Oh,
all right, I'm finished already. I'm done with you. Okay, so this is getting edited out. We're not putting this in the fucking podcast. But anyway,
What? Come on.
all right. So anyway, if you get a chance, if my buddy would stop messaging me invites to play CS:GO, which I uninstalled because I hate fucking CS. Anyway, where was I? Right. So Zombie U is cool. If you have a Wii U and you haven't played it yet, I think most people that have a Wii U probably have, not named Adam. So check it out though. 'Cause
Actually, I do have a Wii U.
I think I got it from. No, I said, and most people with a Wii U have played it. That have a Wii U, except you haven't played it.
Okay.
So, yeah. So anyway, Zombie U, go look for it. We're gonna take a break right now. We'll be back in just about 30 seconds. This is a message from one of our fake sponsors.
From the creators of How I Met Your Mother, the hilarious new reality show, How I Your Sister.
I mean, I was just helping her put together a futon. She bent over to pick up a screw, and that's how I your sister.
You mother. How I Your Sister. The show the New York Times claims brings out the overprotective big brother in all of us. Coming this fall to CBS.
Thank you. So, be sure to tune into our sponsor there.
Yeah, definitely.
Don't-
It sounds like it's going to be very interesting. I believe. Yes, that's going to be good.
How I Your Sister.
Yeah, definitely. Isn't it?
Definitely. Yeah, I
the
can't
one,
wait.
Like, dude, I smoked your reefer.
Oh
think
man,
it's
I
from
love
CB.
I love How I After Your Sister. It's gonna be the best show of the fall season on network television. Now I don't know if the Breaking Bad spinoff is gonna come on around the same time. That'll probably just destroy it in ratings. But I mean,
It will.
I think the show has potential. So anyway, I don't even know where we're going from here. We've got about
I guess I
15,
can talk about
20
what I
minutes
played. I
left.
actually played a game on Steam, on a PC.
That's crazy. Why would you do such a thing?
I know.
That's
Actually,
my
I played
territory.
A couple, but
You're not playing
other
Dark
than
Souls
the one
2,
I talked
are you?
about that I was going to review. I actually played Mercenary Kings.
Oh right,
PS4.
that's right. I have a PS4 and a PS and a PC. So
Wow. No, I have Xbox.
I
One.
think
Doesn't
that one is actually free on PlayStation Plus for this month on PS4.
I think so.
And I added it. Let me make sure I added it to my download queues. Let's see here. Because if you know how PlayStation Plus works, right?
Yeah.
Like for those that don't, every month they offer like free, quote unquote, free games. Like you have to pay for PlayStation Plus, which is $50 a year, or if you know people, $40 a year. So anyway, but if you remember, then every month they give you these free games that you can download and play. And what I mean by free, quote unquote, is that any time your membership lapses and you're not a member of PlayStation Plus anymore, they're removed from your account. But as long as you're a member, you can play them as long as you're a member. So, you technically kind of like lease them until your membership goes away. Which, honestly, if you have a PS4, if you're going to play online multiplayer, you have to have PlayStation Plus. So you might as well be a PS Plus member anyway.
Right.
So. But what it is it gives you not only PlayStation 4 games, which are, right now they're like indie games. Like last game was Resogun, and something else, and then this month is Mercenary Kings, what we're talking about, and then like PS3 they have like they had like Uncharted 3, Tomb Raider, all kinds of games last month. Then PlayStation Vita they have games too. Like I have the ability if I ever get a Vita to download like Uncharted Golden Abyss because I added it to my download queue and then I just like removed it and now it's on my account forever. So if I ever get a Vita I can play that. So that's what's cool about PS Plus. So that's one of the reasons you should get it. I know the Xbox Live Gold is doing it too, right? Something like that.
Yeah, I think it's similar. Of course, they don't offer as much, but the thing is, actually, if your gold lapses, you still get to keep the game. I think.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
I
But
believe so.
they're old games. They give away like Assassin's Creed 2 and stuff like that. Halo 3.
Yeah, well, granted, I mean, the games they're giving away aren't exactly all the newest. I mean, with
Yeah.
PS4, it kind of is kind of a granted because it's PS4 and it's newer, but
Yeah, the PS4 games are shit, but I mean
you're
they're not
getting,
shit,
like,
but they're
the
not like
$60 titles.
no.
though, with,
They're like Mercenary Kings, like we were just talking about. They're super indie stuff. The PS3 is getting some good games. Like they had, Tomb Raider, which is like a year old. It's not that it's pretty new. They had BioShock Infinite last month too, which is like that's a year old too. That's less than a year old. So yeah, anyway. So you've been playing Mercenary Kings, you said.
Yes, I've played a bit of it here, and it's really quite interesting to me. It's kind of like a mix of Metal Slug, and I've heard some people compare it to Monster Hunter, where you can actually like make. I think of it more like a 2D Borderlands 2 in a way. It looks like it's. I want to say it's done by the same people who did the Scott Pilgrim versus the World game.
Oh, really?
'Cause the art style is so similar. I
let's
could be
take a
wrong.
look.
I believe they have some connection to them. I believe. But basically, the art style, the music, and stuff like that is very chiptune-y.
Tribute games.
And the thing also with it is that like the weapons are like very like ridiculous. Like I had a shotgun pistol or a shotgun assault rifle, I guess you could say. Like you could just buy random weapon parts, combine them together, and then see what stats they are, and make different kinds of weapons and things like that. So that's really neat. You never run out of bullets, which is a good thing, but there's like this weird reload mechanic where like this bar kind of goes. It's one of those.
So
what
like
do you
Gears
call
of
it?
War.
Like it just like moves, and then you have to hit it at the right spot at the right time for it to reload.
Yeah, it's like Gears of War.
Yeah, I guess
Like
something
that.
like that.
I think it's called an active reload system or something like that.
Yeah.
Here's a bit of the soundtrack. So that's cool. That's like really NES sounding there.
Yeah,
And the graphics are like what? 2D sprites.
yeah, 2D sprites. They try to do it. It's it's not exactly 16 or 32-bit. Of course, it's definitely much better, but it does. The art style does capture the essence, and even the music itself does kind of capture that essence of a retro game. But it does have.
How's
like,
the animation? Is it super
I think
smooth?
the animation's pretty good. I'm terrible at telling animations, but I think it looks pretty well. I mean, it's definitely is trying to be retro inspired. So you're not
Okay,
gonna
so
have
is
it
it
too-
is it kind of like choppy looking the motions, or is it like hand drawn kind of fluid stuff like Rayman?
I wouldn't say it's like a Rayman.
Okay, so it's like Metal Slug.
I would contribute it to something more like Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Okay.
I guess the best way to say it. I'm terrible at like describing animations, but yeah,
Tribute
as far as but it's not like
games.
really choppy or I would compare it more
See
to
what else
like
they made.
other games in that style.
We're an independent game studio located in Montreal. There you go. Guys that made it are Canadian. That makes a lot of sense. I don't know what
Hey.
that means. That doesn't mean anything to me. I don't know why I said that. Let's
But-
see. What else did they make? They also made Curses and Chaos. Is another upcoming game. Wizorb. Whatever Wizorb is. That's their only
I've
other
heard
game.
of it.
It's their only other game they're credited with is Wizorb.
Huh.
But yeah, Mercenary Kings looks cool because it has a 76 Metacritic, which is that's pretty good for an indie game.
I don't know. I would say like even though I've just played a little bit of it. I think
Yeah.
it's much better than what they would give it credit for. Like
That's what
lot
I
of
was
others.
saying. Like indie games typically get kind of the short end of the stick because they're indie games. They're not, you know, like they don't have the production values and all that stuff. Because honestly, like reviewers like to see flash and flare, and they think like, oh, the 9s are reserved for like Halo and like
This
the,
is why I
the
don't
big
use a
budget
review score
stuff.
system because I just
Right.
find it to be such
Right,
bullshit.
exactly. But yeah, so like the Metacritics are gonna be kind of more middle tier for the indie stuff because it's it's 2D and like old school and all that stuff, and that just I'm not saying it's. I'm not saying it's really like malicious or anything, but it's just kind of like a subconscious thing when you're reviewing something. If it looks cheaper, you're just gonna kind of be more inclined to be harsher on it. If that makes sense.
I think
Also,
the problem is
like you can afford to piss off Tribute Games because who are they? And like you can give it like a 7 or 6, and what are they gonna like? They need you more than you need them. Unlike Ubisoft or EA, where IGN needs Ubisoft and EA more than they need. I don't know if that's true, but you know what I mean. Like they're just a bigger.
I see what you're saying.
They're a client. They like pay for ads on your site, and they're a big one at that. And it's like you don't really want to make them mad. Unlike Tribute Games, who doesn't ever buy ads on your site. So
I think the problem with a lot of sites like that, I don't know if I would go the whole like everybody's corrupted, everybody's paid route, but I would.
Oh, well, they are.
More of like, I'm sure there are. I mean, like I'm not going to say everyone is, but I'm sure.
No, I'll say it. That's fine.
But what I think is like these people, all they do for a living is review games, and how many shit games do you think they play all the time that they become so desensitized that they bitch and nitpick on every little tiny fucking detail.
That's one way to look at it, I guess. I mean, a lot of guys. I know. I can probably guess that most reviewers don't play games in their entirety before reviewing them, and that if it's a really shitty game, they're definitely not going to play through the entirety.
There's actually a story about like a PS2 game called God Hand. I don't know if you've heard of it.
Oh yeah, I have that game, but I know the story of it. Go ahead and tell listeners.
Sure. So basically, what happened, I believe, that the reviewer was having a hard time beating the game because it was too tough.
It's a hard game.
And he only beat the first stage, I think, or maybe not even did that, and then gave the review it was something like a 4 out of 10 or something around there, I believe.
Yeah, I think it was a 3.5, 3.6 or something like that. It was 3 something. The game God Hand is a good example on PS2. It's made by Shinji Mikami actually. And it's the first game after Resident Evil 4 that he made, I believe, and it's ugly. It's nuts. Like the story makes no sense at all. It's nuts. There's a poison chihuahua. For fuck's sake. Anyway, I mean, like it literally is one of the craziest games you'll ever see. But the combat system in it is incredibly intricate and like really, really like in depth. It's really, really fun. You can make your own combos in it and stuff. It's really cool. It's like a over-the-shoulder kind of tank controls kind of game like Resident Evil 4. I think it was done on the RE4 engine. But, it's just really something like out of everyone's element at the time, I guess. And, like, the IGN guy, for whatever reason, just couldn't get into it. And he hated it. He gave it like a 3-something out of 10. And it's not a bad game at all once you play it. Like, if you get into it, it's really fun. But
I think he actually did admit he couldn't because it was just too difficult.
Is that why? It is difficult. It's a very hard game. But,
yeah, it is. I mean...
and it's just it's so crazy. Like, there's like... I mean, it's just nuts.
But
I
to
don't know how
review it after that? Are you fucking retarded?
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't know. Is that really what happened? Like, he just reviewed it after, like, a level? Because, that's shit. That's terrible.
Yeah.
But, I mean, like, I don't know. Like, there's a lot of examples like that, I think. And I think it happens a lot more than we think because those guys have limited time. I mean, it's hard to be on a deadline. You're told, we need this review by, like, Monday or whatever. And, because a game comes out on Tuesday, you have to have the review, like, done up online because they don't like, play it until 11:59. And, like, at midnight, they, write the review. They have the review done, like, a day ahead of time. They have it uploaded to the server. They have it like ready to go, and they have everything done except the submit button. You know what I mean? Like at midnight, they just press submit, and it's like published. Like every now and then you'll see like them go back and edit something or like take something out or something like that. But most of the time, they just have it finished and ready to go. And I mean, they'll have to like rush through these games, and some of these games are like 20 hours long, and they have to play them in like 3 days, And
some of these games being RPGs or anything else can sometimes be even more.
Yeah,
so.
right. And that's the thing too, is like that's another problem with something like an RPG is like how do you know when you're able to review it? Not saying like how do I put this? Like those games are based on spending a lot of time with the game. You know what I mean? Like the point of the game is to like level up and to explore and find all this stuff, and they'll just blow through the story, and And like that's kind of not what the point of the game is. It's kind of like Dark Souls or something. It's like you just blow through the story, you miss like 80% of the game. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like you can't really do a review like that. I don't think you have to like
Yeah.
if you have to wait a week after it comes out to have your review up because you thoroughly played through it and gave a really good honest opinion of it. I think you should do that.
Yeah, now I admit,
But-
like with my Xeno Player review, I think I played like the game is super huge. Like some people have admitted like hundreds of hours. Like I think I reviewed it after playing about 40 hours
Okay.
of the game. Still haven't beat it, but I did mention in mine, and I was like, didn't finish it, but this is my reviews thus far on this. What I think, because I felt like that's good enough for a game like that. That's good enough. There are some games that.
Yeah, 40
Really
hours is
easily
enough, I think, for most games. Yeah. The thing, the only thing that scares me is like, what if a game? Because movies do this all the time. Movies are like the Quiet Ones, which I just reviewed. The first half is like it's fine. I thought it was entertaining actually. I think it was like well paced, all this stuff. And then the last like 40 minutes are complete dog shit. And it was like I was like, what the hell happened? It literally just falls off a cliff.
Yeah,
And I was
think
like-
movies are definitely different.
Movies are, but I've had games do that too. I've like,
Oh, yeah, for
fuck,
sure,
like,
for
I'm
sure.
trying to think of one specifically, but I know I've played games where they're fun up until like a certain part, and I'm just like, what the
I
fuck
think there
happened
should
here?
just be more transparency about that stuff. I think
It's
at least
nuts.
that way it's kind of a ass cover move for one thing, and two, at least you're being honest about it. I think.
And then there's games that
That's-
are the opposite. There's games that are like terrible at first. Like I remember Castlevania Lords of Shadow. I thought like the first 2 chapters of that game are so long and boring, and then you hit chapter 4 or so, and it just takes off and it hits its stride, and it's like, what is that, like 7 or 8 hours into it, and it's like, what the fuck? Like you have to wait that long to get to the good stuff, I've heard Final Fantasy 13 like starts off really slow, and like I think literally there are people on NeoGAF going like, well, if you can put up with the first 20 or so hours. I'm like, the first 20 or so hours? The
I will
fuck?
admit, like I wanted to get into that game. I know you may be laughing at me. I wanted to get in that game, but the combat system is so
Because of lightning?
fucking stupid.
You like lightning?
She's my favorite, man.
It's a crappy looking character. I'm sorry. The art in these games now is
Yep,
terrible. Ugh. What happened? Is it even the same people making Final Fantasy games anymore? I don't think it is.
I think it's just random people.
This is people that just come in off the
like
street.
the guy that really
Have
like,
you
was
ever
ahead
heard
of
of
it,
Final
like
Fantasy?
Sakaguchi did Mistwalker.
Have I?
It was him. Well, I don't know if it was him directly. I think he did the last story and even Lost Odyssey on 360.
Who knows? I know the last story. I know what you mean though. The last story has a PC version, which supposedly is like 10 times better than the 360 version.
The last story has a.
No, not the last one. I'm
you
thinking
think
of Lost Odyssey.
I've never heard there's a Lost. I've never
No,
seen
not
a
that
PC
one
version.
either. Is that what I'm thinking of? I don't.
Oh,
even
you're
know
thinking
what I'm
Last
of.
Remnant, I think.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Which I really kind
The
of
Last
liked what I
Remnant.
played of it, but yeah, the slowdown.
Not Lost, Last. My bad. Anyway, so,
Last,
but yeah, there's like a lot of examples of like just randomness going on in Final Fantasies and all kinds of stuff now that I see, and it just doesn't look like it's fun anymore. I don't know. It just looks like they're like cash grabs to me. They look
Yeah, I
like they
think
look
the
like
people that
Sci-Fi
really
Channel movies of the week games or something. I'm like, the fuck is
Yeah.
going on?
You know what I
Sequels?
think is interesting to me? The people that are
Terrible.
making the best like Japanese RPGs nowadays is Namco with the Tales series. I played Tales of Vesperia on 360. Troy
Mhm.
Baker, for one thing. Like the main character is not a stereotypical character. He's just kind of like this bandit with a heart of gold kind of character. And it's a really actually good story, good gameplay. It's kind of a weird mix of like kind of like an action kind of combo type system, but like you run into enemies in the field. But that's just kind of basic. But their games are like actually like really good. Also, Atlas with their Persona series and their Shin Megami Tensei games. A lot of them are on portables, but really they're really actually really good. And yeah, there is some Japanese stuff, but it's actually really interesting what they do with like dungeon crawlers and things like that with that series. So I mean, Atlas is like actually very interesting stuff. Square Enix is kind of like, we sold a lot with Bravely Default. People actually still like old Japanese RPG shit. We thought they wanted
do.
something crazy like Lightning.
Yeah, there's a sizable market for that kind of stuff, but people just don't want to. I don't know. They don't. It's kind of like a real niche market, but yeah, there's people
Yeah.
that will pay like good money for those types of games, especially like Kickstarter and stuff. People feast on those people, like for their donations. It's nuts. Like there's people that pay $500 for like a certain game to be made or something.
Yeah, what's interesting,
Are you
Namco is actually
crazy?
saying that the RPGs are actually becoming a little more successful for them lately. I think their Tales series is actually something about their games. They know what they're doing when
The
it comes
Tales
to it.
games, are those not like two-dimensional kind of things? No, they're not.
They were originally, but they are 3D. And like I said, it is still kind of on a plane in a way, but you
Uh-huh.
can move around things like that.
Are they like the East
But it has like
games?
this combo system. That's what makes it unique. There's like a combo system. You can actually do combos, but of course you still have a party which you can set controls and things like that. And they have other intricate systems.
Okay.
And
I didn't know if
it's
they were
really
like
different.
final. They're not like Final Fantasy level of production or something though, right? Like they're kind of relatively cheap to make, I guess.
I I don't know
Probably
if I
not
would
like
say that they're definitely Final Fantasy level, but I wouldn't say they would be something that are just like cheaply made either. Like you could
Okay.
tell with a lot of them. So then you have some like more spin-offish type series,
Mhm.
but I would say that they probably do have like a big production budget for it. I just don't know if it would be like a Square Enix level production. So I don't know, but but it is a very big series.
Square
for
Enix
them.
production values are stupidly high. It's like
Yeah.
they don't realize how long their game's gonna be when they set out to make it, and then they go like, oh shit, like what are we gonna do? Oh man,
Yeah.
oh we have to rely on these pachinko sales and stuff. It's like God, people are crazy. Like you just don't know how to budget. It's the problem with all these companies. They don't know how to budget. It's crazy. Like that. Oh, Zynga. Did you see Zynga yesterday?
What did they do?
They what was they had the earnings call or something. I'm trying to find it on Gav real quick, but their user base is literally 50% of what it was a year ago,
Oh, really?
and it was like it was stupid. It went from like 250 million players to like 120 or something.
You know what I think would help them if they paid $120 for the DLC pack to add more customers. I think that would really
Man, their games are horrible. But that's what I'm saying is like
That-
these companies are like somebody in the thread they said something like, "Oh, this is this is because the market is terrible and the gamers aren't reliable and all this stuff." And somebody was like, "Well, if you're referring to the mobile market, which is constantly growing and showing no signs of slowing down, then I think you're wrong. It's the fact that they were a horribly managed company."
Candy Crush.
Right, exactly. So like, it's just these companies are they're crazy. I don't know what they're thinking because they put like so much money into a production and then they expect these ridiculous sales and it's not happening. Like there was a quote the other day from Epic Games, makers of Gears of War earlier on. They sold it to Microsoft now, but the makers of Fortnite, which is coming up, and Unreal Tournament and all these other games. They literally said there's 1/3 as many AAA games in production now as last generation, but each one costs 3 times as much. And I was like, good God, like Gears of War or something like that. It's like a $40-50 million game. Now we're getting into like 200 million dollar game production budgets. That's like, that's like like Spider-Man or like the X-Men movie coming up is probably like $250 million. You know what I mean? Like that is crazy to me. And these games have absolutely no guarantee like those franchises do. Like X-Men is like
Exactly.
that's a home run like waiting to happen. You know what I mean? That movie's
I
going to
think
come out number
Marvel's
one.
almost a home run now.
Yeah, like comic book movie is going to open up number one as long as it's not a Green Lantern or some shit. But like, like that's a home run. This we're talking like Watch Dogs. I don't know how much that cost. God knows.
Yeah.
That game, I don't think it's going to tank, but I don't know that it's going to go sell like 20 million copies or whatever they're looking for. I mean, that game it's crazy to think the production budget on that thing because Assassin's Creed games, which are yearly, annual games still cost like $50 million or whatever to make. They have like 1,000+ people working on them all around the world. And something that's totally unproven, like Watch Dogs, a brand new IP, I mean, that could literally like close a studio or something if that doesn't take off. You know what I mean? It's going to be crazy. But
There's something I was going to bring up. I don't know if you ever watched Jim Sterling's videos. He does these
I do.
Jimquisition,
Yeah,
topics.
I watched the Jimquisitions.
Did
I
you
like
watch
those.
the one where he talked about how all game companies either want games
Yeah,
like
I
Call
did.
of Duty, Candy Crush, or
Yeah.
because it's like to them being profitable isn't enough. They have to be
Yeah,
the
they have to
number
be
one.
like the top company. I understand that mindset. Like that is what you set out to do whenever you're a business person, is to be the best and you want to be on top. But there is something like whenever Metro Last Light came out, it was announced that they had made profit, like they made money on the game within like 3 days or something like that. And I was like, okay, so here's what they need to do. They need to not go, all right, so next time we're going to sell 12 million copies and blah, blah, blah. They need to go, okay, well, that's great. Let's do this again. Like, let's be happy with this,
I think
making money.
they
and
need to have more realistic options. The
Yeah.
thing is, like, I guess that maybe they can make their quote unquote killer apps, but not everything needs to be a killer app. Like, it needs to be profitable and something that can help keep the company going. Yeah,
Exactly.
I get the idea, like what you were saying of, let's try to be
Well,
number
what are
one.
you
but
going to do? Like,
realistically, not everybody
if you
is.
put all your money into something and it just sinks you, like, you know what I mean? Like, wouldn't it be
Right.
better to have something that, like, is somewhat of like a, I don't know, somewhat of like a guarantee, you know what I mean?
Well, that was random.
Yeah, sorry, but that just means it's time to get out of here, because
Okay.
we're getting out. We're running out of time here. We got like three and a half minutes or so left, and the song's only a couple minutes long. So,
Okay.
anyway, what'd you learn tonight? Did you learn anything? I didn't learn anything at all, actually.
I think I did learn something, that if you really want to get into the games industry, all you need to do is just pay $2.95 for this really killer hot DLC content for your Candy Crush.
We've got DLC jobs now. That'll be awesome.
DLC
I can't wait for
jobs.
job offers to come down to me, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, if you pre-order, then we'll hire you." I'm like, fuck,
Don't forget the
God,
hashtag.
really? Yeah, there's it's just crazy, the pre-order incentives and stuff that you get now at like GameStop and all this different stuff.
Please
I
like
hate
us
it.
on Facebook.
I hate it. Can't stand it. Stop segmenting my user base just to be able to get something free. I actually saw somebody the other day on NeoGAF say they bought a game three times from 3 separate stores just to get all of the DLC for it. And it made me so sad to read that. I was like, are you kidding me? You spent like $60 on a stupid armor skin or something like that, basically, is what it amounted to. Oh, God, it was so
Don't get
stupid.
it. This armored skin.
Oh my
is
God! I
sick.
mean,
This-
I'm pretty sure he like sold the games, afterwards. But the fact that he went like 3 different stores and bought the game that many times just for the stupid digital
I did
things,
have
they're
the
not even
Snoop
real
Dogg
things.
pack. Are you kidding me?
Oh.
DL double G.
That stuff just drives me nuts. I mean, hey, more power to them if they want to waste gas driving from place to place or whatever. But screw it. Anyway, we're done. We're out of here. The song's over. Thanks everybody for listening, and please tune in next week. We will be back. Either Adam or Justin, or maybe both. Who knows? But see ya.